All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Faery Crossing. Me and Star are going to be talking all about offerings tonight. And my
Yes.
face completely whitewashed. It's dark here, and I cannot see my papers without a light on, and I'm blind, so that's a bad thing. So I've got to just have this light down right here on me.
I'll just interrogate you about the
Okay,
Fae,
I'm
that's all.
listening. I'm listening. So, how many books, Star, do you have that reference offerings, do you think?
Um, Now, a few, but not many go into detail about why the offerings are being offered. And the only common offering I hear about is milk and honey for the fairy. There's this one book that I have. It's like the the witch's guide to like fairies. It's something very simple, and I just have this running joke of anytime she says food for the fairies or offering for the fairies, I want to take a shot.
Oh
I
my
would be so like gone by the end of that book, but like like you could count it. It has to be in like the 20s or more. It's every chapter has it. It's bad.
I think I have that book.
Yeah.
I think I read it like in the beginning of my journey because I have a lot of books that I've had since the beginning of my journey. What five 5 or 6 years ago now, and I think I have that one. I think it's actually on my shelf.
I cringe with that one. I can't. I finished it. I don't know how I did, but
so okay, so like you said, that a lot of them don't reference why the
right,
offerings, right?
right. And that drives me nuts. Like, tell me, I'm the person who wants to know. I want to know the why. You know, why milk? Why honey? You know,
Yeah,
give us the
yeah.
details. How about you?
I have a lot of books that reference offerings. In one form or another. Let's see, we got people coming in. So let's see.
Yeah.
Hello, Hillary. Hello, Selena. There
Yes.
is Karina too, and Jess. Hi, Jess. Okay, so the ones I have, I do have some, like you said, they talk about the offerings, but they don't really talk about all the whys or anything like that. But I do
Mhm.
know that in some of the older lore, you can kind of infer. Like it kind of gives you this inference of why, like protection or something similar like that, especially in the older tales. Let's see, we got other people here. Hello, Rochelle. Hi, Jamie.
Hi, Rochelle.
So, but a lot of mine also have very specifics, like Emily Carding's book. She's got specific fairy offerings in her book, like very specific. And John Cruz, for his book Fairy, also has a section that's specific to offerings. I have quite a few books that have very specific offering related stuff.
Okay. And what what do they suggest?
I think it depends on the offering, actually. You have your staples, which this is one of the things that we wanted to start off with is the staples of what
Mhm.
offerings are actually given. Hi, Debbie.
Hi,
Who
Debbie.
else? Hi, Frost and Forest. I do believe her name is JD. I remember.
Aw.
I'm learning. I'm learning people's names. Okay, I'm learning. Um, so staples for offerings are often milk, honey, bread, firsts of things. That's a staple. First of anything is a staple. You don't want to give them leftovers. That's a big no-no, right?
Mhm.
That's a no-no. You don't do that. But tarot and oracle for the soul. Hi, Sarah. But it's like these staples of milk, honey, bread, they just roll throughout all the folklore. They roll in traditional stuff, they roll in modern stuff. And I think I think even in modern, they just see it and they're like, oh, well, that's just the staple. That's just the way it is. And so they don't go into detail of why it is. But if you go back to some of the old lore, then you kind of learn. Um, Milk was given in some of them because it helped keep milk from going sour because they used to squirt their own milk out, right? They used to milk their own cows. So you
Right.
would actually squirt the first part of that milk or your first harvest of it, right? Each time on the ground for the Fae so that your milk didn't curdle. Stuff
Right.
like that. So they used it as both a protection and an offering. It's kind of like a two-way thing with a lot of them, which is where some of your contradictions come into.
That's interesting.
Do you
I
find
didn't
those to be the staples in what you read as well?
Yeah, it's mainly milk and honey. The bread thing has not come to my attention until meeting you, and now I'm seeing it. um, it's always milk and honey, and I never really knew why. I only thought it was because it's something that's of value. It's something that's of high value, especially honey. Back then, that was a very valuable thing, and that's why I thought it was being offered.
Which
You
is
know what I mean?
also a valid thought process because
Mhm.
you give them something you would value.
Right.
You wouldn't give them the leftovers because that's not the valuable part of it. The first part of it, the first part of
Mhm.
your harvest, the first part of your baked bread, whatever it is, that's what you would give. So if honey is valuable, then that's what you would give, is your
Right.
first part of that honey. Rochelle said, like superstition. Yep, just like superstitions, a lot of superstitions come from stuff like that.
Mhm.
Um, I haven't come across a lot of specific to honey, actually. Like it's mentioned, but I don't
Right.
have like in my brain, it's not anywhere specific. But
Right.
in a lot of old lore, milk is. Milk is very,
Mhm.
even when we were talking about the wild hunt, milk was a big. Remember, we had that they had that milk offer, and you're like, nope, I ain't doing it.
Yes. Yes, ma'am. Not
Right.
at my front
So,
door.
uh, like they did the milk, they did the cream, they did the butter, right?
Right.
Um, they would even pour it. There's lots of places in Scotland and Ireland and stuff like that where they have stones
Mhm.
specifically for pouring milk onto, and they're called specific stones. I cannot pronounce them, so I'm not even going to try. Okay,
Right.
if you want to know, you can look up the word. But they also did it with beer because they used to brew their own beer. So
Mhm.
that first brew, they would pour on the stone as well. And a lot of times that was used for wishes too. Like if you wished for something to come true. But that's where you also come in with some of the more modern things of trinkets, shiny things and stuff like that at well,
Right.
right? Coins and stuff like that. It's a very kind of fairy thing. Debbie says milk, honey, and bread or crackers is what I usually do.
So with the butter, I was reading in Evans Wentz that the butter that is left on the knife from churning goes to them.
Yeah.
Now, that I guess it's like the first of a thing, right? But
Yeah.
to me, that sounds like scraps. It sounds like leftovers.
It
Oh, this is just some leftover butter from churning. You know
and
what I
see
mean? Like,
here we're getting into some really interesting territory because there's so many contradictions in Fae, right?
right, right.
So it's not just first of stuff, but it's also a sharing of harvest. So the milk is technically the first part of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then as you churn the milk, you get butter.
Right.
Okay. So your butter is a sharing of.
It just sounds rude. Like, oh, you get what's left on this knife after churning. You know what I mean? But that's human logic, right?
It is. It is human logic. It very much is human logic.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking up some of the different offerings in books and stuff like that. And I I found something interesting that I know I've read it before, but I didn't, like you said, until something's been pointed out to you, you don't really notice it. You're not really
Right.
looking for it, right? But I know I've read it before. Well, perfume and music used to be like a fairy offering thing.
Oh.
Yeah. So it used to be believed that they liked pretty smells. Okay. And even some people would say that certain smells, that means that the Fae would be around, like
Mhm.
flowery smells and stuff like that. So in some of the old lore, if people wanted to attract the Fae, they would wear perfume to do that. It's not strange. Like for me, I always thought perfume was too chemical.
Yeah, but back then it was made out of very, very natural. Like it was less chemical.
Right.
Um, they would like lilac perfume, for example. How they would do that? Hi, we have a visitor. Um, they would layer on fresh lilac petals onto lard, and
Oh,
then do that every day, and like remove the old petals because they would rot and then put new ones on, and that made a very, very strong perfume.
okay.
So like how we think of perfume today with those like synthetic smells,
Mhm.
it definitely wasn't how it is today at all.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I never
Mhm.
really knew that. I really didn't know that. I want to go back to the butter thing because Debbie
Yeah.
commented make some butter. So in offerings, things we make with our time, right, and our intent is often considered a good offering. So with that in mind, would you still consider the leftover butter a bad offering?
No, not at all. It's all about perspective.
It
Like
is.
you like shock me every time and you make me think and I love that. No, cuz like you're putting your energy into it. You're putting your intention into it. So absolutely not. No.
It's interesting how you kind of like come back around as you learn things
Yeah,
and stuff like that. And by Debbie saying that, it just popped into my brain because I'm very big on what you make, what time you put in is
right.
very important because your time is the one thing you can never get back,
This is true.
which is why this episode is called The Unreturnable.
We had the whole conversation about time and offerings and like you're right. You can't get that moment back. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Well,
So regardless of what it is, your time's involved in it.
exactly. And that time is precious.
Right.
You're only living like this life. You'll never get this last 10 seconds that you've been listening to us back.
Thanks for your offering.
Thank you for your offering. I love that. But yeah, so Selena had talked about the essential oil blend that she offers that would be a more like they did back in the older folklore, that
that,
kind
w-
of perfume.
that would be closer to it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, so oh, I know where I found that sense one in John's book. John Cruz, Faery.
Okay.
That's where I found that one.
I'm gonna look him up after this.
Yeah, his book is really good and it's really easy to digest, honestly.
I like those kind.
So I want to go into the bread. Okay, I want to
Mhm.
go into the bread
This is your
because
territory.
because the baked goods, okay, they have a different kind of thing with it. There's like contradictions that go with it. Some people would put bread in their pockets to protect them when they were walking around outside from the fairies. And some people actually offer bread, like me. I offer my brownie bread every month. And bread is often mixed with the more homey style phase, like my brownie or hobgoblins, the other fae that work in the land.
Mm.
But anything in my home, I would consider like hearth fairies, and bread would be something that I naturally feel drawn to give them, something I've baked, something I've made physically that is sustenance. I would want to actually offer, but the idea of putting bread in your pocket was this whole thought process that bread was made by humans, so that they didn't want it.
Is that the logic behind that?
Yeah, there's that's what they say is that bread is made with human things, and they don't want the human things, and so they steer clear of it.
That's interesting because like it all comes from the land, but I could see that, like, of how, I mean, humans did have something to do with it, but did they offer it to keep them away? Like, right?
Right.
So it's a little bit of a contradiction there. However, I could see it being an offering to just appease them and keep them away. Like,
Yes.
but why keep it in your,
Keeping it in your pocket was while you were walking around.
what would they, what would
It
they
was
do?
like a ward, like a protection. Like, they wouldn't
That's
come near
so
you if you
weird.
had bread in your pockets.
That's so weird.
Like, I have not experienced that, to be honest. Like, that is not something I personally have experienced. I've only heard it in the older lore, read about it in the older lore, but I've never personally experienced that.
That's interesting. It's
And
so
there's
interesting how
others.
it contradicts. Yeah,
Yeah,
I have one. I
go
have a
for it. Go for
contradiction.
it.
So, in Evans Wentz's Celtic faith and the fairy faith Celtic countries. My brain is not on it today. But so it's said that any milk that like drops off, like spills when you're milking the cow is said to be an offering to the fae. Now, if you make you dip your finger in the pail of milk and you put the sign of a cross on the thigh of the side of the cow that you were milking it on, repels the fae. Now, it's probably the cross that repels them.
Yes.
However, it's done with milk, and milk is something that they like. So, why, like, would you use something to repel them with something that they like? It just seems like a little bit of a paradox. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Why not repel them with something that they don't like? You know what I
Right.
mean? Like salt or something.
May not be as easy to make the cross form on that
True.
creature.
True.
So using the milk provides something that's actually going to like soak into their hide or their fur or their skin.
It's just interesting because they like milk. So, I don't know. It's just the symbol behind it, I guess, but I just found it odd.
It is strange. There's a lot of
Yeah,
different kind of strange things that go
right.
with the Fae anyways. Offerings just is just one of the very many things that are contradicting
Right.
variables that come with the Fae territory. But like we've talked about before, you know, humans are all different too. They contradict each other. They contradict
Mhm.
different things that their psyche is supposed to do versus what they actually do. All these contradictions happen in the human world too. The Fae are
Right.
just doing it a little bit different. That's all.
They are very different from us. They don't go by our logic, so it makes sense. Oh, we gotta.
I find this all fascinating. So, do most of those books say what different kinds of they eat? No, there's not a lot of books that say, oh, well, you should give goblins green eggs and ham. There's nothing, I have
There's
not
not a
come
feeding
across.
guide.
Yeah, I, I have not come across anything like that. The main thing has just been like pixies tend to enjoy milk and butter and stuff like that. That's more common to give pixies milk and butter. Um, from experience, it's been my home phase that have liked bread. Putting bread outside, I don't generally have the same reaction. I don't get the same feelings. If I
Hmm,
put honey outside, though, I do.
that's
So,
that makes sense.
yeah. Um, and I think that you can infer, like, you can kind of when you're working with them on a personal level, because you go back to personal gnosis, you go back to perception, you go back to trial and error, right? When you're working with them on a personal level, you kind of get to know the relationship you have with them. And you can ask, because I did. I asked my brownie. I was making her like peanut butter cookies and all sorts of other things. And I just started making bread. So I wasn't comfortable providing bread. Okay. I just started making it. And that's what she wanted was bread. So that's how that happened. She will accept peanut butter cookies in a crisis, like recently, but she prefers her bread.
Isn't there like a misconception that like the Fae like all the sweet things? You know what I mean? And that's not necessarily something that you want to be leaving. Like you don't want to be leaving chocolate outside.
No, that's bad.
You know,
Yeah.
it's very bad.
And
Yeah.
that's mainly because of animals in general. It's not necessarily that it's bad for the fairies. It's bad
Right.
because of what it can do to animals. Rochelle said,
Yeah.
I would think like berries and fruits, things that our Mother Earth grow in its raw form. Yeah.
Mhm.
Hmm. Certain ones that comes to mind. Yeah. So that's what I feel like it's more how they feel to you, right? My outside fairies would probably like honey more, right? My
Mhm.
inside fairies, they would probably like not just the bread, but if I did bring something in from an outside harvest, they would enjoy it as well. But the outside ones don't tend to react for me the same way for home
Mhm.
baked goods. And that's just my own personal gnosis. Have you experienced anything like that?
Yeah, I get the same thing. I don't find that like when I leave something that's natural of the earth outside, I found that it's accepted more. You know, it's gone quicker. And then if I leave something that I made outside, it just like slowly decay. I don't think it's accepted very much. Yeah. Because it'll just sit there and rot. And usually if I leave something more natural, it's gone. It's gone real quick.
And you can
So
tell that as an acceptance or rejection or neutral mentality of it, right?
that's
I
how
think
I
it's a
see
feeling.
it.
Yeah, I would see
Yeah.
that too. I would totally, yeah, I could see it that way too. Um,
Yeah, they're all different.
did you come across any other like real like contradictions?
That's the main one that I did find.
That's a pretty big one for me too. The bread and milk and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Um, the more modern ones is the trinkets and coins. Like coins
Right.
started getting more prominent as time went on and stuff like that, especially with wishing wells and whatnot. And then trinkets and shiny baubles and stuff like that became more of a modern take on offerings. I don't tend to offer those things
I don't
in
either.
general. It's not because I don't want to. It's I honestly never think about doing it. Honestly, it never comes to my brain that I need to offer a coin or a little trinket or a shiny bauble or anything like that. Um, so I associate it with fairy offerings, but I've never personally done it.
I haven't either. I've never felt drawn to it. But I think again that's their influence on us. They kind of give us little nudges through our intuition of what they want,
Right.
you know?
I agree with that. Rochelle
Mhm.
says it's probably already an offering if you grow a garden because they probably love hanging out in them and taking what they need out first. Oh, there we go. There it goes.
I could see that.
I could see that, especially if you've invited them. If
Right.
that invitation is there, then I could see that they would see a garden as a kind of offering to them.
I would personally, just the way I am, I would have a boundary with that because, like, if they would think that all the plants are their plants, there's going
I
to be
could
a
see that.
problem.
Yeah, so that's another thing that's really interesting is you have to set clear boundaries,
Yeah,
even when you're
big
giving
time.
offerings. Clear boundaries are really important because that's going to define how they work with you.
Right.
And that brings me to
Absolutely.
something really strange because I found a lot of strange offerings. I don't know if you did when you were looking up some of this stuff, but I have some strange offerings to share with you.
I'm curious about what you found because what I found was very basic.
So, um, and this is the funny part because I remember reading this, okay? And if you've read this book, you've read it too, okay? So
Mhm.
just keep that in mind. So, bodily fluids of saliva and blood,
Okay.
etc. Okay? bodily fluids. Now, I am so uncomfortable with that. Okay. I do not want to give the fairies any of my saliva, any of my blood. No, thank you. No. They say Fae can do things with your name, and they don't give their names because you can control things with their name. Why would I give them my personal bodily fluids to do things? No.
Maybe it doesn't work like a
Uh-uh.
name does in Fae
Mm-mm.
logic.
Nah. I ain't even gonna test that theory.
Um, are we talking about like uh what's Alpha Blut, the Norse festival where you would do a blood offering to the elves for protection. Um, yeah,
No.
like
No. Uh-uh.
you would literally give them your blood to protect yourself from them.
No. Mm-mm. Nope. Nope. Not me. Uh-uh. Mm-mm.
I'm not shy with that kind of stuff, but
It's not that I'm shy with the blood or the spit or something like that, but it's the idea of giving them something from
it's your
inside my
life essence, you
body.
know.
I don't think I can't. No. Mm-mm. No. Mm-mm.
I'm an
Mm-mm.
F around and find out girly.
Go for it. Now, do you want to know where I got that from?
Hmm.
Emily Carding's fairy book.
The green one?
Hmm.
I've
I
been
know,
in
right?
there. I was just in there. Wow.
Try not to sweat while gardening then. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. No, it's more like the idea that you actually give it as an offering. It's not an accidental offering. It's actually a gifted offering. I don't. Mm-mm,
But
no.
with the cow thing, with the accidental thing, it
Yeah,
was if any milk falls.
yeah.
I actually literally have like accident thing in my notes. Um, hold on. Let me go through this. Um, I wanted to ask, do you consider something that's an accident, like milk spilling with Evans Wentz, do you consider that an offering still? Because it's spilt.
Okay, but did it? Why did it spill? Why do you think it spilled?
I don't know why it's spilled. It just says like if any milk spills
So what if the face
on the
spilled the milk?
ground. But what if you did it on accident?
Well, who says you did it?
That's a
Fairies
good
create
point.
mischief, right? They create mischief. A lot of times when people give offerings is to not have that mischief around them, right? They say, no, you can have this, so you don't do this to me, right? So I kind of see that that plays into that. Like if you're not going to spill it for them, they're just going to spill it for themselves.
Interesting. Interesting way of looking at that.
Hmm.
Huh.
I'm with you, Hillary. I am with you.
Yeah, that's literally like the blood is your life essence, and I feel like by giving them you're giving them
No.
some of your energy
Mm-mm.
that was once there.
Mm-mm. I'm
I'm
not.
down for it. Let's go.
You let me know how that goes for you, okay? I would like you to go ahead and test your theories, and then you can tell me all about them, or you can tell everybody here about all about them, in a couple months, and we can revisit this and we'll check on you.
So if I accidentally cut myself, I can consider it an offering. Maybe the fate did it. You have no idea how I'm clumsy in the kitchen. I accidentally sliced my fingers a lot.
That
So
people have things like kitchen witches and stuff like that for reasons, for clumsy kitchen related things.
I gotta get me one then, cause I'm accident
I
prone.
think that's Nordic as well. It's like
Oh, I
they
thought that
they
was Italian.
it might be Italian. I can't remember
I think
exactly.
it is.
Um, so let's see. What else do we got? We talked about a lot of this stuff already.
Mm.
Do you offer water? When you do offerings, do you
You
offer
know
water?
what? I used to. I used to offer moon water, and not so much anymore. You know, I used to. How about you?
I do offer water. I tend to offer moon water, or I'll make lavender chamomile water or something like that out of my moon water and do that as offering. So, in a lot of the old lore, you would actually put a bowl of water out near your hearth for the Fae to cleanse themselves at night.
Aw, I love that.
That used to be a big thing. It used to be a big deal. And if you did not do that, you would find out the next morning because all sorts of mischief would go down.
Now I want to get back into the water thing. I haven't done that in so long.
It's offerings are such an interesting thing. Froud even back to the bread thing. Froud in his books even mentions bread as a protection against the Fae. Isn't that weird? It's weird.
It's interesting.
Um, let's see. I've got mainly the rest of my stuff is just different ways you can use your time and energy as offerings.
Okay.
So I'm really big on that, which which is kind of this pulls us back into what we're doing in our personal practice.
Right.
Um, I do a lot that is time related, my personal time related. So we've talked about this before,
Mhm.
but when I read books, that is my offering to the Fae. If I am reading about the Fae, that is my offering to them because I am willing to spend that time to learn more about them. If I am creating something for them, that's my time, not just the creation itself that I'm giving them, but the time
Mhm.
spent. So it's like a double offering for me. Um, so a lot of that goes into my practice a lot, a lot. So it's like my own essence in a way, right? That's not bodily fluids. That's the only way I'm willing to give my essence, okay? They can
That's
have
fair.
some of my time, okay? Some of my time and my energy, not so much my bodily fluids. No. No. Oh, it just not for me. But anyway, so a lot of that is really, really important to me. And even
Right.
if I do that every day, this is not a once in a while thing for me. I am constantly giving that as an offering. It's all the time. Every day, I do one thing at the very least that's related to fairy every single day. And I didn't even realize that until earlier today.
You could even make cleaning your home an
Yes,
offering to them.
yes, that
Yeah.
is another one because the Fae, even in the older lore, they prefer tidier areas.
Places. Yep.
Yep. So your cleaning, you can literally say, "I'm cleaning for you. This is my offering, my time and energy to clean for you."
Right.
Is a thing.
Mhm.
Selena says, "What about winter
What about
time?
winter?
How do you do offerings?" And there, that right there is your reading, your time, your cleaning. And like I said, I make bread. I do that every month, whether it's summer, winter, whatever. If you bake, you can do any kind of baked goods that you want, and Selene, you make oils and stuff. So that right there, as you are already aware, is an offering, whether it's summer, winter, fall. Doesn't matter. I
And
think
you
it.
can,
I think
yeah.
people get caught up on whether or not it's good, nice outside or not nice outside. And
Right.
that really doesn't have a lot of bearing on it because most of the offerings you can offer, other than um, things you can't get in the winter, right? Other than that, can be offered at any time. If you have, like I have goats and my husband wants to milk goats, we would milk goats anytime that we were able, right? Anytime they needed to be get milked. And then we would offer that as an offering. And that wouldn't matter what time of year it was because our goats, they have a revolving door for being pregnant.
Mhm.
And when you're milking, you kind of want that anyways. So that would be all seasons pretty much.
Yeah. I'm thinking about winter offerings that Selena mentioned. It's like, I think a lot of like indoor related stuff, it's less outdoorsy. No, not a lot of us want to be outdoors. um, yeah, it's a lot of, I think of baking, definitely. Um, I tend to offer cookies this time of year. Um, but I make candles and I offer those, and I know that's not like traditional,
It doesn't have
but
to be traditional.
yeah, it's definitely not with me at all.
That's very personal to you and your relationship with what you work with.
Right,
Because you are more that witchy side that,
right,
you're working in that energy, whereas I am not necessarily working in that energy. So while some of the stuff that we do is similar, we have different reasons for doing what we do.
right. It's like the Fae, they don't take the physical substance, they take the energy from the offering.
That makes me wonder though.
So,
So you provide candles for them as offering. How do you
mhm.
think that works? How do they take the essence of the candle?
Well, I mean, I view the flame as alive, you know what I mean? And I feel like they take the life of that candle. Does that make sense?
It's very energy based,
Yeah,
because I mean,
it's
when you're
very
working with,
animistic.
yeah,
Yeah,
and that's a lot of what fairy work is
right,
animistic.
right,
So I could see that. Yeah, I just didn't consider it because, that's not where my brain went.
right. That's I'm animistic about everything. So
I
like,
have I
you know.
have a interesting question to ask you.
Hmm.
What is the weirdest thing that you have offered to the fae, whether you meant to or not?
Hair?
Hair. What? Why? What happened? Now I need to know what?
It's a part of me, and if I'm outdoors and I don't have an offering, if I'm somewhere very far from home and all I have is me, I will give them my hair.
Oh, wow. I never even considered giving them my hair.
Just pluck a hair out, tie it to a branch. There you go. It's a part of you. It's a
That is
very
interesting.
small part of your energy, a part of your essence.
Yeah.
You don't have to be given blood. Like it's not a fairy blood bank all the time. So just a piece of your hair. It's maybe that's something like if you wanted to start with that kind of thing, hair would be like the
The beginner level.
yeah. See how it feels.
So not just discarded hair. Hair I actually pluck out myself, right?
I would. I mean, we talked about how things being discarded can still be offering, so I could see how that can work too.
All right.
But, you know, I would pluck it out with intention and be like, "Hey, this is for you." And I think I would take it from the front of my head rather than the back of my head.
Apparently Selena does the same thing.
See?
Apparently it's more common than I thought it was.
Oh, I think it's that witchy
That witchy aspect of it.
perspective. Yeah.
I I I was watching, I don't know, somebody the other day. It was during some downtime because I just needed a break between computer work and stuff like that. And I was watching somebody talk about, it was witchy related, and they were talking about how spell work needed energy to, get the spell working,
Right.
which is why people do dance and they rub their
Like
hands
raise
together.
the energy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you kind of got to get that going and stuff like that. Do
Mhm.
you think that kind of energy could also be an offering?
Absolutely. I
I mean,
mean,
they do it in Reiki, right? You can push your energy into somebody via Reiki and stuff like that. So in theory, I haven't tried this, but in theory, my energy specifically could literally be pushed out as an offer.
absolutely. Yeah, I do that. I do that all the time when I'm out in nature. You know what I mean? Like,
Apparently, Karina does the same thing,
yeah.
like with her hair. This this is way more common than I thought it was.
You're around a bunch of witches now.
Hey, hey, to be fair, I sit in my house by myself all the time. So, I'm not around anybody else but me and my husband and goats. So,
Yeah, sometimes I just feel drawn to like putting my energy into a part of the land that I feel drawn to doing it. Like, I'll do it for the Fae, but also I'll do it. You know what? The Fae and the land spirits I view as the same. But
They can be.
if I feel like they need it, they get it. I will give my energy.
So what tells you that they need that kind of offering?
I just get this feeling. It's just an intuitive. It's time to offer your energy. Like,
So it's because of you built that relationship up, and so you
right,
kind of you got to feel for how that works, like
right.
what they're doing on your land because you've worked with them enough.
Especially if something feels off. I feel like I don't know why they need it, but I give it.
Have you ever
Um,
asked why? Just out of curiosity, like with your cards
no.
or pendulum or anything?
No, because usually I don't have the opportunity to bring all that stuff and sit, because we usually have the dogs
Oh,
and we're walking, and I need to start bringing my pendulum and stuff more, but like it's hard because when they want to move, and I don't get a chance to like be still. And my hubby, he always wants to just like get in and get out and be done.
yeah.
So I don't get a lot of time to do that.
My
Um,
husband's like that too. He's like, "Come on, let's go do this."
ah, if I could see better, I'd be out there without a question, but I'm limited. So,
So on your actual land though, do you do
oh,
that
on my
for
land,
yeah, do you actually do that on your land too?
no,
Hmm.
only like out in nature. I don't, I've never felt pulled to do it here. No.
As Selena says, get her done.
Yeah. Yeah. So, um, do do you do different offerings from your property as opposed to like somewhere way out in nature? And if you do, what's the difference in them?
I don't tend to do offerings when I'm outside of my property. Like when I go to California and we go walk the trails with my husband's family and stuff like that, we look at the trees and everything, but I don't tend to leave offerings. It's usually trails where there's there's barriers. So you can't just go to like a
Oh.
tree and do something. I often will feel something sometimes. So I think that energy, like you're talking about, right? Like you were talking about, I think energy would be the best suit for that kind of situation, which I never thought of before.
Mhm.
But otherwise, I have on very few occasion, and when I say very few occasion, I mean like twice in the last 6 years, kind of few occasion, where I have been somewhere and I've had a water bottle with me, and I just felt the need to, you know, put water on wherever I was. And it was just really spur of the moment kind of thing. It wasn't anything, anything specific.
Mhm.
Debbie, I think, commented, every time I feel the bird feeders, I have something for the Fae, so I don't forget to give them something. Oh, cool.
Now, do you view Debbie like feeding the birds as an offering to the Fae because you were like tending to nature?
Yes, because that can be an offering. I think it should be an offering. That should be
Mhm.
something that should be felt that way because yeah, I could totally see that. So I'm
Yeah.
curious if Debbie sees it the same way. We'll have to wait and see what her reply is.
How curious, because like I view as giving to nature as to the Fae, because the Fae are very much a part of nature. I view them, as nature spirits. So anything I give to like the animals or whatever is meant for the Fae as well, because
Have
it's
you
yeah.
have you ever come across where you went to give an offering, but you knew it wasn't wanted, even though that was your intention originally? Like you go somewhere to give offering, but then it's not wanted.
Yeah, I get this feeling. in my stomach. You know what I mean? Like, oh, this isn't right.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't want to upset anybody. So, yeah, and once I've given an offering before and it felt unreceived, and I didn't have any proof of that aside from it molding. This is that example of like handmade food, putting that outside and it molding like I mentioned before.
Mm-hmm.
And ooh, it didn't go right. I had this awful feeling like I messed up. It was chamomile honey biscuits.
Oh,
And I ate one. Like
before you gave the offering?
I did. I did. Yes, I did. And it upset my stomach. I was on the
Oh,
couch in a
and then you gave
horrible.
them some?
This is before I knew that
Got
they
it.
were supposed to get the first of anything. In all fairness, I didn't know any better.
Yeah.
Like, but no, I had the worst stomach pain of my entire. Oh, it felt like I ate a boulder. It was so bad.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that it was not well received.
Yeah.
Like, I
I feel
gave them the whole batch of biscuits. They molded.
yeah, I think
Oh,
I would not have if it would have hurt me, I wouldn't have given, like personally.
I didn't know until after
Right.
I go to sit down,
Right.
and that's when the stomach pain kicked in after the offering.
Yikes.
Yeah.
What did
Yeah.
we learn from this?
Don't take things first and see how you feel about things before you offer it. Big lessons, but we learn from our mistakes and we learn
We do.
how to do better.
And that's
So,
kind of building relationships too. We can't be
yeah.
perfect. And I'm not going to say that there's not Fae out there that would be totally offended and, cause some trouble because of that. I'm not saying that. Okay.
Hmm.
But the Fae that we're working with, they get to know us just as much as we get to know the relationship that we're having with them. So there's a give and take there too, I think. What do you think?
I agree, but I also want to know, do you have a story where like you regretted giving an offering or it wasn't right? I gotta know.
Um, Not particularly. The best I have is putting bread outside and it wasn't taken. It didn't do anything. Like it just turned hard. It didn't mold or anything. But I don't feel like, I mean, they could have taken the essence from it because it didn't mold, right? But
Right.
that I don't think it was a well received offering. It was
Was
like,
it just
okay,
because
I'll
it sat
accept this.
there?
Yeah, because it just sat there. And
Hmm.
I think it was more like okay, I'll accept the essence of this, but it's not my favorite, like one of those kinds of feelings. But I've never had anything really specifically go wrong with offerings.
Okay.
Not,
I was curious.
yeah, not so far anyways. My husband, I have to tell you guys what happened. So speaking of offerings, right? Don't tell my husband I'm telling the story. Anyways, so he goes elk hunting. Okay. And this is going to go into a few different things because I'm also taking a Lenormand class with Rochelle, right? We're doing like a Lenormand, not a class, but like a study. And I had pulled cards for my husband before he left. He left Thursday. And that day I pulled cards to see if he would get his elk while he was gone for the weekend because this was his last opportunity. Now his elk tag was for a female elk. Okay. Just to put that right up front. The cards that I pulled was him, of course, and then the woman, and then the clover, which is like Lady Luck, right?
Hmm.
Or a female animal, but Luck is like fast. It's the clover is meant to be like it's not long-term luck, it's short-term, right? So I told him that with some luck, he was going to get his elk very early on during this trip. So Friday, because he went down Thursday night, he was down by 10 p.m. Thursday night. So Friday morning was the first part of their hunt. So then by noon, he had his elk. And do you want to know what he told me? He had gave offering to the Fae in that area before he got his elk.
What did he give?
I do not know.
Oh, interesting. Well, it must have been good.
That's apparently they liked it. Okay.
Must have been well received.
Yes.
Wow. But yeah, you can give offerings to the Fae for blessings,
Yes.
right?
Lots of people do that. They give offering, like even at the wishing wells and stuff like that. A lot of times when people are calling on the Fae, they tend to, especially in older times, they wanted help with like finding something, wish fulfillment, that kind of thing. And
Right.
they weren't working with the Fae on the kind of relationship level me and you are back then, right? They were conjuring them, they were encouraging them, they were luring them in with these offerings,
Mhm.
which is a totally different feeling to me, actually. I feel shady.
Yeah.
Ah, it gives me creepies to think like I'm luring a fairy in. I don't want to lure a fairy in. Are you kidding me? No wonder the fairies were mean.
Given with yeah, that's not great treatment, right?
Right?
Like, but that's human
It is. It's what
human
humans,
logic.
yeah, it's what humans do. It's just what they do.
Yeah.
It's totally a thing. So is there anything else
Wow.
you would like to touch on for our fairy stuff? We're at 50 minutes and I usually like to keep this about an hour, which you know. So
I just wanted to share a little bit about what I offer, cause if that's okay.
yes,
Um,
absolutely.
so, cause we've been talking all about it, and like I know what you offer. You offer a lot of bread.
Okay.
With your outside stuff, before I get into my stuff, I wanted to ask you, what's the difference between, okay, what you offer inside with your bread and stuff? What do you offer to your outdoor fae?
Mostly I offer honey
Mhm.
and I offer garden stuff. Like so this last time I made, I had carrots and peas and all the other stuff. So I would leave that in my outside offering. Moon water,
Mhm.
definitely moon water. If I'm out and about somewhere and I get flowers or something like that, I might offer some of my first picks.
Do you have a special place on where you put it?
I do. I do. I've shared it many times on my channel.
Mhm.
I have an outside altar area specifically, and I actually planted clover in it this year. And the clover
Ooh.
grew, okay? Without even watering it, the clover grew. It's
Was it
crazy.
white clover or red clover?
It's green clover.
The flowers.
No, there's no the it's I didn't get any clover flowers, just clovers, 3-leaf clover stuff.
Okay. I
Yeah.
mean, it does flower
I
eventually.
haven't seen that yet.
You'll get there. It'll
Probably
it'll
next year.
likely get there. Um, the shape, was it like rounded, or was it that'll help me figure out which clover you have. Did it have like two little round things or one little round thing? Like leaf.
3, 3 leaves.
Were they, how do I put this? I'll show you a picture after, because
Okay.
now I'm curious to know. I'll figure out which clover it is.
All right. Sounds good.
um, yeah. Okay, so you offered clover.
Yeah, I
Like
planted it so that and it just went wild in there, man. Went wild.
it
I'll have
does
to take a
that.
picture of it next spring and like show you guys for sure. Put it up on my
It's a
um
vigorous grower, so
apparently.
it is. It really
Debbie
is.
said she thinks that molding may mean that they actually take the energy from it.
Really? 'Cause I would feel the opposite. I don't know. Huh. That's where our intuition comes from, right?
Right,
Like,
right.
that's our gnosis.
Mm-hmm.
Where that would
Karina
come from.
says she offers eggs from her chickens.
Interesting. Okay.
Sorry, I'm just catching up with chat.
Oh, no, you're good.
All right. So
Um,
yes, back to what you offer because
yeah. So I often work with the gnomes and in my garden, and what I do is I will make little Like with the herbs and stuff that I grow, I make them little like herb salads.
That's cool.
I will like take a little bit from each plant and mix it up, and that way they have a little bit from each one. But this year I grew some Irish moss, and I put it in their own special little pot, and I put a fairy house in there. That way they know, hey, you can go to this plant. This one is yours. I gave them a lavender plant, and wouldn't you know, um, their stuff survived. All of my mosses for me died.
Uh-huh.
Um, I didn't think of like giving them an exchange. Like, hey, if I give you this, can you help my stuff grow? Like,
You didn't create that
I
kind of
didn't.
interaction.
I didn't. I just said, hey, this is for you, and just to help to build that relationship, to build that bond. Things have not been the same since Luna passed away. Like I had to like relearn gardening and relearn so many things just because of grief really like threw me for a loop. But and anything that's left at the end of the year in my garden, and this is based off of like older folk tale like folklore, that anything left after Samhain is for the Fae.
Yes.
So whatever's left is now theirs. That's how it's always been, especially brambles like blackberries. That is for them. And I do my indoor offerings are different because that's usually food that I make, but the garden practice is a little unique and different there. But I learned a lesson. Like I definitely want to ask them like, can you help me with my stuff? Like I normally do that, and I don't know I don't know what happened. It's just
It'll be interesting to know if those fae that you made that specific offering to are there for you next year.
right.
Because I wonder if they were just passing through like trooping.
I'll have to find out because they felt familiar. They felt like they've
So
been
they
the
might
ones
not
that have
be. Yeah,
been
okay.
there.
That's important too.
Yeah,
How you feel about stuff like that is really, really important. This is
right.
gonna lead me into something else now because it just came to me because of something that I'm doing on Patreon. But do you think what you offer it in
Oh,
has,
like a vessel.
yeah, do you think that has any consequence?
If you believe it does. I don't know. Um, Usually with the outside stuff, it literally I don't put it in anything. Like with the
You put
herbs
it
and
on
stuff,
something.
I just put it on like the stone that's in
Okay.
my garden. Yeah. Nothing special. I want I want to get something special. Like a bird bath,
Oh yeah.
but have that as like a offering area,
Yeah, just for
like
the
a
Fae. Like you
specific,
can
yeah.
dedicate it. Yeah, a dedicated thing to the Fae. Yeah.
I want to fill it with soil and like put plants in it
Oh,
and yeah, have that specific for them, like a
you're
specific
definitely gonna
drop
have to
off.
do a video on that if you do that.
I will. They're expensive, so I'm trying to find one that's
Less expensive. I get
cheap.
it.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
you can make your own.
I don't know how I would do that.
Well, you just need like a big glass bowl, right? And then something to set the glass bowl on.
Well, we have wind here.
I have wind here too.
It's gonna knock over and fall over. Yeah, I don't have good luck with that stuff, like setting
Oh,
glass
okay.
outside. So I'll have to
You have to think
find
about that.
stone or something sturdy.
Or maybe
But
even wood bowls, like the old 70s wood bowls.
I could see that. Maybe.
You can even like screw it down, maybe, depending on where you're at and what you're doing it with.
I'll have to
Variables.
seal it. Put some sealant on that
Yep.
before that goes
Yep.
outside. But yeah.
Yep.
Do you think that the vessel has consequences?
I I don't necessarily think it has consequences, but I do think that the type of fae that you are offering to might want a bigger offering, well, rather than a smaller one. I
Okay.
have two sizes on my altar. I have a small one, and that's for my moon water, and it's a rock that has a divot in it, and I put my moon water in that.
Ooh,
And then I
keep talking, keep talking. I'm grabbing something while you're talking.
and then I have like an actual like offering dish or a small tea plate that I use for like my actual bread, because the bread is not going to fit in that little rock thing that holds water. Okay. That's not going to happen.
Right.
And then my outside one has a much bigger area. I could put a lot bigger things on there. So if I say I found bones or something else I wanted to offer, look at that.
This is on my window sill.
Yes.
So, this is like the pedestal where a lot of their offerings go, and yes, there's a
Yes.
rock and a marble in there. um, we found this marble in my rose garden,
Ooh,
and we just gave it to them because it felt right. There's a
right.
rock because it felt right, but like,
That is so
yeah.
cute.
So I have a whole set of these. Ooh, that stinks. I have a whole set of these that is all around my house, and this is where their drink goes. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I
No,
just
you
had to
did not
grab
cut me
that.
off. You're good. Outside I just have big rocks and, a little area for water, but that's about all I have. And I've showed that many times in my videos, so people kind of
Mhm.
know. Um, the last thing I think that is important to talk about when it comes to offering is how long do you leave an offering out?
Oh, that's a good question. How long do you leave an offering out?
So at first, I didn't know how long to leave it out. So when I first started, I kind of just randomly did it. And then over time and reading books and stuff like that, I started learning that it was usually like overnight or for 24 hours, and then you would discard it.
Right. That's what I usually do. So what happened when you would leave it out for over that period?
I think like the longer I left it, the more the energy felt weird.
Mhm.
Like it just kind of got okay. The best way I can describe it is you could feel it getting stale.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a really weird feeling. Okay.
To me, it feels like there's garbage.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Cayenne says, "What about gourds? You can grow them and adopt them to make a bowl and seal them."
Oh, I like that. I'll try that. Thank you. I love that idea.
You have to seal the inside and the outside of the gourd. Cayenne says.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. I'll have to try that. That's fun. Um, what were we talking about?
Oh, we were talking about how long to leave
Oh,
offerings out. And like my
yeah.
water one, it just evaporates over time, so I don't ever have to worry
Right.
about it.
Right. Um, and do you think as it evaporates, like, do you think they take it into like in 24 hours, or do you think that evaporation over time is them slowly taking it?
I think it depends on the Fae, probably,
Hmm.
and how much is available as well.
Right.
So for
Yeah.
me, I haven't had honestly like my water offering never stays long. Seriously,
Hmm.
it
It
is
goes
gone.
quick.
It goes so quick. It's
Yeah,
crazy how quick my water offering goes.
it does. It's like it just evaporates. I feel you. Mine did that too. I haven't offered water in a while. I want to get back into that now, but it does. Um,
Is there anything else you want to touch base on or talk about?
I
You think we
don't
covered it?
I think we covered everything. Um, I think so. What do you think? Just spilled ginger ale on me. Oh, an
Oh, dear.
offering.
There you go. There you go. So that it's been offered. I kind of feel like even like our video, like we're talking about the Fae, we're telling people about the Fae, we're spending this time teaching and considering and going off on tangents.
Sharing.
Yeah.
Yeah. like sharing what we do and holding space for community as well is an
Right.
offering. It is an offering to the Fae. Absolutely.
Rochelle says, so have you ever left any astral offerings, like creating a fairy altar in the Fae realm? No, I have
Oh.
not done that. I don't personally do a lot of astral stuff. I do, I have done meditations where I mentally have a safe place, like when I'm doing child work. Is that similar? Would that be something similar? Because if it is similar to that, then I could potentially create that, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't see why not.
What about
How do
you? Do you
you, is it like, do you have like a space where you do that?
where I meditate?
Like on the astral?
I don't know about an astral thing. Like I don't really
Okay.
understand the astral stuff. I just know I go into meditation. And one of the shadow work prompts that I had was to create like like a home area, right? Like you had to let it come to you, whatever it was going to look like. And then you walk through the door and you do this whole thing. And now it's just always there in my brain.
Yeah, okay. I could see that. I could, yeah, that is kind of astral work, really, because you're creating something.
She says like a meeting place
I have a
in the
nematon.
astral.
Okay. I have like a nematon, which is like a sacred grove. That's where
Hmm.
I do a lot of my meetings on the astral. And I never thought to do an offering, because usually they take me somewhere and that's it.
You know, come to think of it, there was once that I did like an actual offering during a meditation because I was following instructions for connecting with like a fairy person, a fairy
Guide?
connection thing. Yeah. Not necessarily a guide, kind of. It was just a really strange little creature. But it was in front, it ended up in front of me. I was sitting at a table waiting for it to come in, and I already had an offering ready for it on the table. Like it was something that was already there. So I guess kind of, Rochelle, I guess
Okay.
I kind of have done that.
Huh.
Selena, your brain, Rochelle. Wow, mind blown.
I never thought to give
Rochelle's,
offerings on the
yeah, Rochelle
astral. That's
has some
brilliant.
really, yeah, she goes deep on things. She
Yeah,
can really dive.
definitely.
All right, anything else?
Song. You can give song, like song as an offering. That's a
Yes.
huge thing that I do, you know?
So do you make your own songs? Because you have a drum. You showed your drum
I
in one of
have a
your newest videos.
I have a drum.
Earthing, the earthing one.
Mhm. I have a drum, I have a rattle. Those are offering. Um, the bell. I
Oh,
usually offer like the bell. I sing. I sing to the Fae as an offering. And I have an ocarina that I want to learn better. And offer song with the ocarina to the Fae, but
so do you have specific song for the Fae that like you sing every time or something?
no. What comes out comes out,
Okay.
and it's never the same. There's like it's not specific to the Fae. Like I have a song that I do like to sing the land to sleep, and I have a song to sing the land awake during the equinoxes,
That's
but
so cool.
that's a specific one. But usually with song, it comes out. I can't control over what comes out. It just does. It's a weird experience because like it feels like it's not me that's doing it.
Okay.
It's a very strange, and it kind of creeps me out when it happens, but it
So
just
does it happen
happens.
often?
Mm, no. Um, Usually it's specific. Like I'll go into it, you know, at a certain time, like during the summer solstice,
Hmm.
and like I know I'm gonna do it, but when it happens,
It surprises you. It takes you by surprise.
yeah, I need to record it,
Yeah.
because I don't know much about what I do. It's like an out of body experience. It's really weird.
That sounds really cool,
So,
actually. I don't generally get a lot of out of body experiences, but I'm not usually doing things to get them either.
right, I
I'm
do.
very grounded and very aware in my present. And I think sometimes that keeps me in in that kind of space, even when I try not to be.
Would you ever try like a flying ointment?
Like a what?
A flying ointment? Used with herbs that'll take you to get to that place.
I don't even know. I didn't even know those existed.
It's a
So
thing. It's
so
a
maybe
thing.
I might try it. I mean, does weed count?
I mean, it can. It definitely can.
I don't actually do a lot of weed, but I mean, it's the one thing I can get my hands on that could create that feeling for me, I'm sure.
I'd be curious. That'll be a fun episode if we go there.
Oh gosh.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. I don't know how far I'd go in that.
That'd go real far. See, those are the kind of experiences that are fun. I enjoy those. That's what I'm gonna say.
So is the flying ointment, is that like something you have to make yourself or
You can buy it, especially if you're gonna use baneful herbs. I would buy that from someone who knows what they're doing. Uh, I would not just F around and find out with like foxglove, right?
okay.
Um, but the flaying ointment I make, the worst it has in there is wormwood and mugwort that has thujone in it, which is very mildly toxic, but it's not um as bad as like, if something's made with like monk's hood, that'll possibly kill you. So,
How about no? How about no? You're making me not want to try this.
let's go. No, just have a safe one.
You don't understand though, like the safe for you might not be safe for me
Right,
because
right.
I'm a very tiny person, okay?
Yeah,
The things that have happened to me because I'm a tiny person and the amount of things that normal people would either consume or put on their body or whatever is not the same. It is
I
not the
got
same.
you. Yeah,
Okay.
the dosage would be really different.
And I can't even use castor oil. My body completely freaks out.
I was gonna send you some homemade flying oil. I won't do it now because I don't want
You're like crap.
I don't want to get you sick.
See,
You
weed
know.
is safer for me. Do like a variant that's not psychotic.
I got you.
Uh, at least I can control that, and I know my own dosage.
Right. Yeah. That's the thing. One dose for someone, it's not the same dose for everyone else. So, yeah, I get that.
Yeah, it's a thing.
So do we want to like end this on a a lighter note?
What do you have in mind?
I don't know. I'm looking at the comments now.
I know. Rochelle, she doesn't like any kinds of aids. She trusts herself, which is totally a Rochelle thing.
That's fair. That's fair. I
Yes.
like all the aids. I do. Well, not all of them, but yeah.
I don't think I've tried very many aids. I,
I got
I'm
you.
yeah, not really.
It's better to be safe.
Yeah, that's me. I'd definitely rather be safe. I've known people who've done other kinds of aids, shrooms and stuff like that, that they've really enjoyed. I'm just not going there.
Just looking at the comments. Yeah. Um, well, thank you all for this
Hello, Miss
time offering.
Cody. We're just getting like rounded up here. So you can watch the replay.
You missed. Fun conversation.
Yeah, you missed some fun conversation. Michelle said she
Ah,
prefers to use her own natural abilities, no chemicals. Natural doesn't mean safe. That's true. That's absolutely right.
yeah,
Natural does
you're
not mean
right.
safe.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Nature could kill you, so
Yeah,
that's
yeah, I can.
yeah.
All right, we'll go ahead and wind this down then. If anybody has any comments or questions, when you watch the replay or whatever, just leave them in the comments and we will answer as we can.
I'll be stalking the comment
And
section.
I'm doing like a little bit deeper dive on my Patreon where I'll do like a PDF that everybody can, my Patreons can download and stuff like that. So that'll be available for any of my Patreons who are watching. So thank you so much, Star, for doing this with me. I always enjoy this. I look forward to this every single time.
I do too. It makes it gives me something to look forward to, and it gives me a purpose. It gives me a reason to dig into the fairy books. So I appreciate that you want to do this with me. Thank you.
I think one of these times books are going to be the whole episode.
That would be fun. Yes.
At some point, I could see that happening because I know December we have something else planned, don't we?
Yes.
And do you want to
Um,
give a little bit of an idea of what we're planning for December?
in
It'll be on your
December,
channel, so
we are going to talk about the Fae and Yule. So I figured, you know what, 'tis the season. Let's go into some winter solstice Fae stuff.
and
So,
with that, okay, since it is Yule and there is like a lot of witchy stuff going on during this thing,
mhm,
could you could you potentially create something that our viewers could use for themselves?
create something.
Yeah, a ritual or a spell or something, or share something that you would personally do, like that's specific to that kind of witchy work that your viewers can do also.
Not like this time, but for the Yule one, right?
Yes, yes, of
Yes,
your one.
yes. Yeah, I can't come up with something on the spot. So, like,
No,
yeah, for
no,
the
I
Yule
didn't mean
thing,
on the spot. I
definitely.
meant for the Yule one because your witchy practice is a big part of how you
Right.
interact with the Fae and stuff. So I think it would be
Yeah.
interesting to see or to to have something that people could try with that. Even I would try it probably.
I already have some ideas brewing,
Good.
actually. So, yeah, look forward to that. That'll happen for sure.
All right. My cat is yelling at me to
I
get
hear
off.
it.
I know. She is an absolute menace. She is. She's gonna knock everything over. Say hi, Sasha, Demon Lord Princess.
Oh,
She's
chunky
giant.
kitty.
Big baby. All right. Now everybody's met Sasha. But yeah, I'm gonna go because she's literally going to knock my phone over here.
What a
And my
diva.
paper is off of everything. She's a demon lord. All right. Thank you everybody for being here with us and having all the fun because I really, really enjoyed it. And we will
It
see
was
you guys
fun.
again in December to be announced. You have a very
Okay.
great day.